Namaste, everyone, and welcome to Anchor Light. I know for about 2 weeks I wasn't able to be with you. I was traveling to Australia and Taiwan. Both trips were amazing. People there were really receptive to spiritual teachings. So today, let's ask the fundamental question. Fundamental question of all, are we free? Unless you live in a communist country, we claim to be free. Now, that's not the freedom I'm talking about. I'm talking about freedom to experience inner peace, stillness, just to be who you really are. And for most people, that is not the case. And for all of us, at some point, we feel like we are imprisoned. The question is, imprisoned of what? So, if you think about it, every person that walks around is inside a cocoon. This cocoon, or this bubble, consists of our thoughts, our emotions, our biases, our opinions. You add to that the biases, opinions of people that dump on us, plus the cloud of thoughts and emotions of the city or the place we live in. And so when you say you're free, or I'm free, that means we are free of any of these thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas. And most people don't realize, as we look out into the world, we're actually looking through the lens of these thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Okay? Now, we just check one thing here. I think some people said they were not getting the feed in other... it's on. All right. We're in other... Because we're broadcasting Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, panicking.com, massacre.org. So in other words, we're everywhere. At least we try to. Okay, let's go back to the topic. So I thought, according to Pythagoras, or Pythagoras as most people call him, he says, no one is free who has not obtained the empire of oneself. Okay? No one is free who has not obtained the empire of oneself. Now, it's interesting he would say the word empire, because if you think about it, we're supposed to be the boss. The empire is within our thoughts, our emotions, our everyday life. We try to govern how our finances are, our physical body, our relationships, our thoughts, ideas, and even our place in the universe. So what people call our spiritual nature. Now, the easiest way to understand it is something like this. Every part of our body, our bodies, have a certain consciousness. Okay? So a lot of you have studied, know that the basic chakra at the base of his spine controls our ability to function in the material world. That's why it's a chakra of prosperity, or for some people, the chakra of poverty. If that energy center is strong, the person has a tendency to make good financial decisions. If the chakra is blocked or it's not functioning well, person has the tendency to have negative thoughts, negative feelings about money, and affects the way they make decisions. Not to mention, if the basic chakra at the base of the spine is full of poverty thoughts, like qualities attract, so attract, just say, poverty consciousness and bad situations when it comes to money. All right? The sex center has to do with creativity. In the physical world, that's why it produces babies, and also our sex drive. The solar plexus, I'm just picking a few of the 11. The front and back solar plexus has to do with love for ourselves. The heart center has to do with love for others. So when you have a relationship, it's actually interaction of these two energy centers between two people. This one says, I love you. The person, the solar plexus says, okay, are you loving me back? So it's a give and take. Right? The throat center has to do with knowledge, concretized ideas. That's why it's connected to memory. Something has happened or a certain concept that we recall, we store it. That energy center that gives us access to it is the throat center. The Agnya chakra or the Ajna chakra has to do with strategic thinking and abstract thinking. This is also your will center. Then your crown, center for spiritual connection. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Just imagine that each of these energy centers are like departments in a corporation. So in ancient times, they don't have corporation. They call them empires or kingdoms. Are you understanding it? So when Pythagoras said, no one is free who has not obtained the empire of oneself, basically says, are you in control of your empire? Are you in control of your energy centers? You say, well, what does that mean? It's very, very simple. Let's just use the basic chakra so most of you can relate to it. The basic chakra is like the finance department, the one that handles the finances of a company. Or you can look at it in an empire, it's the treasury department. So if that particular treasury department, that finance department is not doing well in handling money, what happens to the entire empire? It has problems. Make sense? So the question is that chakra strong? If that basic chakra is strong, is it healthy? Because if it's just strong, that means that person has a tendency to make money, but in the process, go kill and steal and do something unethical. That means the empire is not in control of it. Make sense? The big boss, the king, the queen, the emperor, the empress is not in control of that department. It's like the CEO is not in control of that department. Same goes with a sex center. And the heart, solar plexus, all those energy centers are like departments in a corporation or different, how do you call this? In an empire, different ministries, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of this, and so on and so on. So each of them are departments that allow the entire unit to function. So when you say you're free or not, it involves several steps. Number one, whoever's in control has to first realize that that person in control is not what it's controlling. You go, what does that mean? Let's just use the modern term. The CEO or the big boss has to first realize, hey, I'm not the finance department. I control it. I'm not the PR department, public relations. I control it. Otherwise, what happens is the finance department will influence the boss. The PR department would influence the boss. Does that make sense? Or you have the accounting department being controlled of the boss. So whoever's in control has to first disidentify himself or herself to say, okay, you are the finance department, manufacturing department, PR department, whatever. Good. Let me take a look at what's needed in each department in order for this corporation to function as a whole and be successful. It's just like your emperor or empress. You go, okay, these are the different departments or different ministries in my kingdom. I can be influenced, as in I find out the information and help me make decisions, but they don't make the decisions for me. Case in point, I just used the same example we did earlier. If the basic chakra, the finance department, or the one that raises funds for the kingdom, if that one is so strong, it starts to control the emperor, the CEO, the boss. It says, hey, let's just go plunder this country, kill everything, and then take its land, takes its money. Or if it's a corporation, hey, let's go sell these products. Let's lie and steal. Just make sure we sell billions of these products so we makes a lot of money. Who cares if anybody gets hurt? Does that make sense? So in other words, each department or each part of this empire, this corporation, this organization, to kind of summarize, has to be first independent of the one making decisions. That one making decision is the soul, the spiritual self. And most of us, we're not living free because we're not free of the influences of these different departments unless we do these few steps. Step one, disidentify. I'm not the body, not the emotional thoughts, which compose of what? The survival instinct, the sexual instinct, the need for validation. These are not the I. You have to first disidentify to say, hey, I'm not any of these. I'm the boss. If you don't get there, they influence you. As simple as that. That's why step 1 is to first disidentify. Step 2, identify who you really are. Or the primary question of every soul, who am I? See, most people, the answer to who am I is basically the opinions that one creates based on our interaction with people in the environment. So if a person had a bad childhood or grew up with parents that it's okay to go out and hurt, kill, and steal, that becomes their identity. Make sense? Same thing. If that same child grew up in an environment where, you have to do right, you have to be honest, you have to be caring about people, you always have to be aware that you're not the only one living in the universe, that we're all interconnected, so giving and sharing is important. That becomes the person's identity. But you cannot get there until you first disidentify. That's why it's 2 steps. Step 1, disidentify from any thoughts, emotions, and biases. Put it aside. And then, not only that, you have to drain. You have to drain any thoughts, feelings, and emotions out of our system temporarily, empty ourselves out. What's left is the I. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence that allows me to create thoughts, spiritual being of divine emotion or love to create feeling, spiritual being of divine will and power to direct my body, my emotions, and thoughts. But most people, they jump. They think, oh, I'm the soul, I'm a spiritual being, I'm blah, blah, blah. The problem is if you make those affirmations, you not realize that your affirmations are biased. I'm a lovable person. For example, if you say that, what's wrong with that? That's biased already. You realize that? As positive as that is, that's biased. Because you say, I'm a very lovable person, that's making an assumption that, oh, people like me. And if anything happens in our life that goes against it, somebody doesn't agree with you, oh, my feelings are hurt. That's that. You're screwed. That's why people make this affirmation. I'm listening to them. Even that is not accurate. You have to first clear everything out. Any bias that I'm a good person, a bad person, all that is set aside. Now, for most people, that's very difficult because we grew up in society, oh, you have to get validated by other people. The fact that we need validation from other people means we are controlled by them. Think about it. The fact that I need someone to say, I love you, I need someone to say, you're a good person, that means you are dependent on them. And if somebody says they love you, and one day, for whatever reason, you perceive they don't love you, your identity goes down the toilet. They trigger you to be happy or trigger you not to be happy. Yeah. That's why Confucius, or one of these ancient sages in China, said, whoever triggers you controls you. Trigger you to be happy, trigger you to be sad. Then you expand that to what? The people you're around with, your work, your home. So if you are dependent on any of them telling you who you are, you're not free. Now, probably some of you watching this don't like it. It's not very negative, but you can't handle it? Oh, well, that's your problem. There's your bias right there. If you truly want to be free, you have to first remove everything that's not the I. I'm not the anger. I'm not the joy. I'm not the happiness. I'm not the jealousy. I'm not any of these because I created them. Only then can we get a glimpse of our true identity. And some of you go, I've never heard that before. I know, I have to disassociate myself from negative thoughts and feelings. How about positive ones? Shocking, right? You probably did not read that anywhere. But if you study deeper, even your joy is something you created. And if that joy is created because of a circumstance, then it's not freedom, because that still controlled you. So the question is, well, I want to be happy. Okay, let's go through it step by step. Step 1, disidentify with every thought, every feeling, every sensation. That's why when you meditate, what do? You turn the lights down, make sure there's nothing that's stirring up your 5 senses, and you don't want to meditate when you're pissed off and angry or you're a lot of thoughts on your mind, right? You try to temporarily put yourself in almost a vacuum state. That's one of the reasons why people go on pilgrimages. They go away from their daily routine to do what? To isolate themselves from those thoughts and emotions. So this is the first step. The next step is we need to empty out these thoughts and feelings and these biases, good and bad. I know some people go, yeah, but I don't want to get rid of joy and happiness. Hear me out. You and I, our perception of joy and happiness initially is biased because it's dependent on something else. So you temporarily set aside, okay, what makes me happy? What makes me sad? That's irrelevant. I just created those. From there, you'll notice it becomes very quiet. Now, listen carefully. This is related to the Buddhist tradition of emptiness. You know, the Heart Sutra in the Buddhist tradition say, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So this so-called emptiness is not what you and I, at least in English, define as empty. Because we take a cup or a glass, there's nothing in it, we say it's empty. But that's not what emptiness means in the Buddhist tradition. Emptiness in the Buddhist tradition simply says, nothing, no concept, no idea, no thing or matter in the universe exists independently of everything else. The example we always use is a house. There's no such thing as a house. A house is a concept of a definition we give it. It's a place you live in. It composed of parts like doors, walls, windows. It's a piece of real estate. It's what you put in as what it is. Those are bits and pieces put together that we call a house. Make sense? So the practice of meditating on emptiness allows us to realize that everything, every concept, every idea is biased. When I say biased, that means it's connected to something else. So, because of that, there's this thing called the Diamond Sutra that simply means we already know everything's empty of intrinsic individual existence. Everything's related to something else, and everything that you can think of has a cause and an effect. So you go, okay, because of these, I cannot get attached to anything. Because when I get attached to something, just when I think something is permanent, it could just slip out of our hands. Okay, hear me out. Somebody go, oh, does that mean I can't love my family? I can't love my work? Okay, you're getting too dramatic. Listen carefully. You're first basically trying to understand what is and what isn't. Once you have a realization, okay, these thoughts, feelings, ideas, concepts, all of these are not the I. They don't exist at all, but their existence is basically a conglomeration of different things put together. You go, that means the only thing that is permanent is the observer. You're observing all these things. That's when inner peace starts. Because you get to realize my true identity is the spiritual self that is observing, and based on that observation, create certain thoughts, certain ideas, and certain movements. There are many ways to do it. The fastest way is through meditation. And that meditation has to have a few ingredients for you and I to reach there. It has to have an extended time of stillness. And you heard this before. I've shared this if you've been with us. The way you climb that ladder is you start with everyday life, which is basically controlled chaos and turmoil, and somehow you have to harmonize and put a rhythm into your life, and then from there things calm down. So from turmoil and chaos, you get to calmness. Calmness for a lot of people is good enough, but for what you want to achieve, not even close. So from calmness, the next step, you have to get to silence. Silence means no thoughts, no feelings. Yeah, but I like playing music, makes me relax. That's good. The best that will ever get you is calmness. That's it. Because at some point, even the music becomes distracting. So you have to shut it off. So the question you should ask is, when you shut off that music, what happens? What happens? If your thoughts keep popping up again, if you start feeling stress or whatever thoughts come in, that means you're stuck in calmness. That means you are dependent on that something, in this case music, to just keep you calm, to pull you away from chaos. But if you turn the music off and you experience a few minutes of no thoughts, no feelings, just blank, then you just stretch it. As you stretch the calmness and then the silence, that silence long enough, most of you will experience even deeper silence where nothing is moving. That's what you call stillness. From stillness, again, I remember my teacher, Grandmaster Chocolate, said, stillness is not the objective. For some people, man, you don't have idea. Just to get to silence is already a big deal. Okay, here's what I have to tell you. Don't be satisfied. Not good enough. Push higher. So when you have stillness, keep extending that stillness. And the way my teacher explained it, Messenger said, stillness is the stepping stone to higher spiritual activity. So to put it in simple terms, if you have a bottle of perfume and its cap, you shake it, there's chaos inside. When you stop shaking it, it becomes very, very still. That's like silence, right? It's not shaking anymore, it's very still. Oh, great. When you open up the bottle, in that stillness, the particles come out. As the particles come out, it's not just in the bottle anymore, it's in the atmosphere. So that simple metaphor is when you experience stillness, you get to expand your consciousness beyond the body, beyond your thinking, your feeling. So you get to a point where I'm experiencing beyond my thoughts and my feelings. That's what you call expansion of consciousness. You cannot get there before you get to stillness, because everything will distract your consciousness. Only then, when you get to that part when you have expanded your consciousness beyond your everyday life, are you and I get a glimpse of true freedom. So, going back as a review before we meditate, as Pythagoras said, no one is free who has not obtained the empire of oneself. You have to start by managing chaos. Chaos comes from data coming from your basic chakra, your sex center, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your ajna. It's just like you have an organization, you're a corporation where every department says, I need this, I need that, I need my attention. Or you have the emperor or empress where, hey, the military wants something, the agriculture department wants something, your empress or not empress, your empress or your emperor, your partner or your partners, your sons, your children. When everybody wants something from you, that's chaos. So you have to control those first. So step one, disidentify. I'm not any of these at all, period. I'm not all the needs and wants of my company, my corporation, my empire. Those are not the I. You're not suppressing your pressing. You're just pulling yourself out of the influence. So finding some peace and quiet. That's why people go on retreats. Say, don't call me, right? Don't email me, whatever. That's what. Now, in your case, it's not really that practical. So doing meditation, what do? You make sure your environment does not give you any form of stimulus. Try to make it quiet, no loud sound, no smells, no whatever. You're just trying to isolate as much as possible. Step 1. Step 2. Once you isolate, you want to realize what's left, the I. I am the spiritual self. So you're going from chaos and turmoil from everyday life, finally, some inner peace. That inner peace, you already went from chaos and turmoil to calmness to some form of silence. All you got to do is go back to it over and over and over again. Stretch that silence until it becomes stillness. And when it's very, very still, some of you start feeling like you're in outer space. You see light. You feel a blissful sensation. All of those is what you call expansion of consciousness. And there are many levels of it. And you do that on a regular basis, every day if you can. And at some point, as you keep experiencing this in your everyday life, that is your inner life becomes something that you look forward to every day, because that's really you experiencing your true self. Now watch this. As you experience a few minutes of that every single day, when you go back to your everyday life, that stays with you. How much? Depends how often you do it. So as you experience stillness, you'll notice as you go to your everyday life, you are less and less triggered by your environment and people. You know why? Because you're able to retain your identity rather than the identity you falsely created based on what the data is from outside. Now you are free to look, to observe, and make choices of what to think, what to feel, how to act. Then you're really free. Until we allow, and that's a magic word, until we allow all these circumstances and people to control us again. That's it. That's called the spiritual life. So how are you managing your kingdom? That's when people say, I can't help it. Okay, get out of here. Go find another teacher. That means you just gave up. You want others to control you. No, I don't want that. Of course you do. Because if you don't make the choices that say, these are not the I, they become the I. I remember Tony Robbins says the most powerful force in the universe is identity. When a person has been depressed for such a long time, when a person is being angry for such a long time, that becomes their identity. You screw around with it, they get angry. They would die for it. But you see, that identity is a shell. It's composed of thoughts and emotions that are not real. They were fabricated due to circumstances. Once you crack that and remove it, what's left is the real I. And that only comes from, write this down, spiritual practice. And as I always say, you can be an atheist and still be a spiritual person. You don't have to belong to any organized belief system or religion to be a spiritual person. Because to be spiritual or to practice spirituality means you keep working to remove what is not the spirit, what is not the I. So what's left is the I. That's it. So, all right. Let's meditate. By the way, tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Tomorrow is full moon. Full moon. We always have a full moon meditation. And the topic is Guru Purnima, or full moon of the spiritual teacher. And you're all invited. The link should be on the, what do you call this, masco.org, wherever you're watching this. We'll be posting more stuff to give you the link. It's not going to be in social media because social media, people have opinions. including AI. So sometimes they block, they mute. So that's why we don't do it. Our more very important lectures and meditation, we don't do it on social media. Otherwise, you don't get the full lesson. Okay? And Guru Purnima, basically the full moon of the spiritual teacher. So the question is, here are the questions we're going to answer. Number 1, do you need a teacher? Number 2, what are the qualifications of the teacher? Number 3, what is the best way to approach whoever your teacher is to get the most of it? And how does the teacher allow you to experience your true self? Okay, we'll go through that. Let's meditate. Put your hands on your heart. Focus on the crown. I am that. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotion or the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, divine power. I am that, the soul, the spiritual self. I am connected in one to my higher soul. I am connected in one to the divine spirit in me, the divine spark in me. I am a child of God. I'm one with God. I'm one with all. There's only oneness. Just be still. Just open your hands in blessing. We will do the meditation twin hearts as taught to us by my teacher, Grandmaster Chokok Sui. So imagine the earth in front of you, the size of a little ball. Be aware of your heart, your hands. Imagine beautiful pink light from your heart just pouring out of your hands and filling up the entire earth. We will use the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Wherever there is hatred anywhere within me, outside of me, let me bring forth unconditional love. Where there is injury, let me sow pardon and forgiveness. Where there is doubt, faith, despair, hope. Let's think of people we know going through difficult times with their health, their relationships, even their finances. Visualize their lives getting better and better. May they be blessed with a new hope and faith and a better life. So be it. Where there's darkness, let me sow light, sadness, joy. Just be aware of your heart in your hands. Allow ourselves to be channels and pipelines to bless the earth with peace, with love, with the spirit of forgiveness, with hope and with faith, with light and lots of joy. So be it. Just be still. Now be aware of your heart. Take a deep breath. Put your awareness on your crown. Exhale. Just be still. Be aware of the top of your head. Your crown is filled with so much golden light. Allow the golden light from your crown to just flow down through your hands and bless your home. Bless all the people you love, your relatives and friends. Let it spread to your workplace, to the city you live in, to the country, to all the countries in the world. Fill the entire earth with beautiful golden light. Just say, our hearts are one, our souls are one. From the heart of God, through my soul, through my entire being, may every person, every being on earth be blessed with loving kindness. May all be blessed with great joy and happiness, with understanding, harmony, and divine peace. So be it. Just fill the earth with intense, intense golden light. Blessings be to all. Just be still. Now, gently be aware of your heart and your crown at the same time. Be aware of your heart and your crown. Take a deep breath. Be aware of your body inside and out. Exhale. Allow that peace and love to permeate your being. One more time. Be aware of your heart, your crown. Take a deep breath. Be aware of your entire body from head to toe, inside and out. Exhale. Allow that love and bliss to permeate your entire being. Be still. You might feel a tingling or a blissful sensation within you. Just be still. One more time, be aware of your heart and your crown. Take a deep breath. Exhale. This time, project that golden light and flood the entire earth. Just fill the earth with intense, intense golden light. Just be still. Let the golden light keep flowing through you. From the center of the heart of God, may every person, every being on earth, in the higher worlds, middle worlds, even the lower worlds, may all beings in every dimension, every direction, above and below, be blessed with love and with kindness. May all be blessed with inner peace, with inner healing. May all be healed of any pain, sorrow, or suffering. So be it. May all be blessed with understanding, harmony, goodwill, and especially the willingness to do good. Blessings be to all. May all be blessed with peace, love, and kindness. Now gently lower your hands, keep your eyes closed, keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Just be aware of the top of your head. Just be aware of your crown. Be aware of a beautiful golden light floating on your head. Just a beautiful golden flame floating above your head. Be still. Be aware of the love within your heart. Send a stream of love from your heart up to the center of your head. Be still. To the crown, past your crown, into a beautiful golden flame. Stay there. Meditate on the inner peace. Meditate on that beautiful golden light. And listen. Om. Allow your awareness to just drift into that space in between each Om. Just look at that golden light. Om. Your awareness, your attention is completely swimming in that empty space and filling it. Just look at the golden flame. Om. Be still. Be aware of the inner stillness. Be aware of the inner stillness, the inner peace, and just simply let go and let things be now. Gently, slowly, move your fingers, move your toes, slowly, gently come back. Raise your hands in blessing position once more. We'll release excess energies our bodies cannot absorb. So first, picture the people you love in front of you with the backdrop of the entire earth behind them. May every person, every being be blessed with good health, with much happiness, with abundance and prosperity and spirituality. Just flood your loved one with golden light. Let that golden light also spread to the city, the country, and the entire world. Blessings be to all. So be it. Now be aware of your feet and the base of your spine. Put your golden light down into the earth. Let our beloved Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power. Let our beloved Mother Earth be healed, regenerated, and revitalized. Blessings to Mother Earth. So be it, and so it is. Okay, let's give thanks to the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother. Thank you. To all the spiritual elders, holy masters, to all the saints of all traditions, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Master Chokok Sui Mahaguchi Maing, thank you. In full faith, and so it is. Right, you may open your eyes. So the test we always use is immediately after meditation, keep your eyes open, observe the thoughts and feelings that you have. Most of you should be blank, like no thoughts, no feelings. In that few seconds or minutes, you are truly free. You're truly free. At that point, you're experiencing your true self, a spiritual being of divine intelligence, love, and power, devoid of influences with body, emotions, and thoughts. Then from there, you go about your business. You will start noticing that, hey, I see things clearly. That's the idea. Until the cloud takes over again. So doing a meditation every day is like taking a shower every day. Prevent things from building up. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. Again, tomorrow night is the full moon. It's 6 p.m. California time, and I will be posting it online. If you haven't seen it on Facebook, Instagram, or emails, it should be there. All right, and then we'll give you the link. We'll see you in 7 hours and 5 minutes. It's a longer session today for the next Anchor the Light. All right, namaste everyone. You all take care and share this with as many people as possible. And the lesson today, no one is free who has not obtained the empire of oneself. That's by Pythagoras. You know what I mean? The triangle x squared plus y squared is still equal to that square, whatever that is. I forgot that. The hypotenuse. That's by that genius teacher, Pythagoras. If you're from Greece, Pythagoras is how it's called. And that's what he said. No one is free until they obtain the empire of oneself. You need to know who you really are to be free. Namaste. You guys take care, and we'll see you in the next Anchor the Light.